Hi, welcome to this edition of Own Your Honor. I'm Rebecca Schleifer, a successful and blessed self-made entrepreneur who helps people determine who they truly are. After I dealt with intense adversity in my life, much of it at the hands of a narcissistic parent, I developed a series of creative tools to deal with and transform life's most challenging situations. My online training program helps people rewire their minds to be aligned with God's. My passion is to empower and inspire you with proven tools, strategies, and a process designed to help you figure out the true you and help you get your power back and to truly honor you. Today, we're going to talk about the subject of boundaries. What are they? It seems to be a buzzword out there. Why don't we have good boundaries? And 2 strategies that help us create boundaries and how to master them. How many watching this have ever gotten scared to express something to a boss, a spouse, a friend, or a parent? I have. I'm sure many of you have too. I used to be the exact same way. And have you ever wondered why that is? Well, keep watching, and I'm going to give you some great insight and tips to show up for yourself with ease. First, what are boundaries? Simply put, they are expressions of our feelings and needs. Our feelings are meant to be markers to us that something is off or something is safe or something is a good thing. The easiest way to explain boundaries is that they are like fences. They are meant to keep the good in and the bad out, thus helping us feel heard, seen, and understood. They can be violated by others, or we can violate our own boundaries by not voicing our own opinions and thoughts. You're probably asking, why are some people good at this and some others aren't? Well, like everything in life, our childhoods are normally to blame. Most often, these aren't developed in childhood. If you grew up with an authoritative type of parent, then boundaries most surely were not developed. And there are a lot of fears in expressing your needs and wants. We learned early on to not make room for our own feelings and needs, and then we grow up and we learn to violate our own boundaries because of pure conditioning. And then, because when we're little, we create little stories because our brains aren't fully developed that go something like this. I'm not worth it. I won't be heard if I state my needs and wants. And because my parent doesn't listen to me, I must not matter. We did what our parents wanted, needed, expected, and did what we were supposed to as a kid. And by doing that, we lost a very important skill, tuning into ourselves and knowing how we feel. Learning to tune into ourselves is a skill one needs to master. We learned as kids to disconnect from ourselves as a way to achieve safety, which is a bad coping mechanism when you become an adult. You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Have you ever walked away from a situation being mad and not knowing why until 2 days later? Well, a boundary might have been violated because you haven't mastered tuning into yourself and you can't process in real time. So how the heck do you do that? There are 2 reasons that we don't have good boundaries. And number 1 is we don't know our needs and our feelings. And second is we don't have a vision of what we want to create in life, whether it has to do with our career, our relationship, or our finances. The following are 2 remedies that will work every time. Number 1, my suggestion is get a feelings journal. And what I like to do is write out the positive edges that is on the one side and the negative on the other. So if you have automatic words to choose from and to be able to name that feeling, you write in it twice a day. And what this does is it creates awareness. And when you name that feeling, you can go backwards and link and find out why you're feeling what you are because of that event. And it's super important when you do this not to judge yourself for having that feeling because your feelings are yours. Don't talk yourself out of them. They are there to help you develop your voice. And when you go and express these feelings with someone safe, it actually helps them to know how to treat you. These are clues for them, helpful clues. And then you can start to solve problems and be emotionally mature about negotiating different strategies that will work for both parties. Remember that repetition reinforces neural pathways and our brain can change. We have been programmed by doing what we see regularly, what we hear regularly, and what is modeled to us. So if we learn to tune out our thoughts, then we have to teach that part of our brain to work again. The feelings journal is just a training wheel type of solution. And what will happen is that you will start to have great conversations showing up for yourself, and it will correct these old coping mechanisms. And your brain will associate it with positive emotion and experience. So an old fear response gets replaced with a positive empowering response. And it's super awesome and encouraging. And I would love for anybody to go out and get a journal. Mine has a kitty cat on it, and it says, "Be curious." And what you can do is, this is how I did mine. You just Google pleasant feelings and unpleasant feelings. And on one side, because we don't have the language sometimes to express our feelings. So at the top, you've got pleasant and unpleasant. And then you write in the thing twice a day, you check in with yourself. And if you do this consistently, then you're going to get braver and braver, and it will become natural. And most importantly, you'll be able to go back to the way that God created you, to have your own thoughts and feelings and not be scared to express. So the number 2 solution is create a vision. Having a vision helps us figure out our boundaries. This next exercise will be super easy, and the structure will help you get super clear on what your boundaries should be. So for example, if one of your financial goals is to save for a house and someone says, "Hey, can I borrow $100?" you probably should say no, because you're trying to save. If you compare people's requests against your vision, it'll help you stay on task and in your lane, and thus creating the life that you want, not somebody else. So for this, there's a really simple exercise. Go grab a sheet of paper or just jump on your PC and write down these 7 areas of life and start creating visions for each one. Career, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and your relationships, meaning your family, loved ones, friends. And after you get done with that, I would love to hear from you. So if any of this resonates with you or your interest is piqued by this video, please reach out to me and let's set up a strategy call. You can visit my Facebook business page, Own Your Honor, or Rebecca Schleifer Coaching. Tune in next week for more tips, tools, and strategies to help you figure out who you are and ways to get your power back. And remember, do yourself the honor. Don't wait for someone else.